Welcome aboard the E-Ticket to Tomorrowland podcast. We are here at Coke Corner, and we are here to interview, no, not you, Ragtime Noel, but Mickey Mouse.
Oh, gosh, I can't believe it. E-Ticket to Tomorrowland wants to interview me. Ha! Oh, boy.
Welcome to our podcast, E-Ticket to Tomorrowland. My wife and I started this blog on blogster.com under the same name. We are inviting you to join us on our adventures, starting in the past and working our way to tomorrow and into the future. We started out with just all things Disney, but as time went on, we have made blogs about local events, Knott's Berry Farm, classic car shows, and reviews about Disney movies and Disney books. We have been to every D23 Expo, Walt's Barn at Griffith Park, and more. We love music and have been to many of the Mad Tea Party shows that were in Disney California Adventure Park, Electronica, as well as Coke Corner in Disneyland. To listen to the ragtime piano musicians, we are now ready to travel on the monorail of the future to Tomorrowland and expand out our horizons. As Walt Disney once said, keep moving forward. We are going to go into episode 147, which has been written by my wife. It is about a book called The Art of Minnie Mouse from the Disney Editions in Book Nook in Tomorrowland Review. One of the most famous quotes by Walt Disney is, "It all started with a mouse." This is true, but it is actually two mice that helped Walt start on his journey. When you look across the decades of Minnie's career, it's apparent that she has always been. Before I go any farther, I'm reading this so you can understand what my wife wrote. Now, I may make mistakes like I'm doing right now. So I'm going to start over, and hopefully we'll make it through this podcast, because I'd really like to include my wife in the podcast too, which is Carla Wolf Capalbo. Okay, let me start over here. Alright, let's try that again. One of the most famous quotes by Walt Disney is, "It was all started by a mouse." This is true, but it is actually two mice that helped Walt start his journey. When you look back across the decades of Minnie's career, it is apparent that she has always been able to hold her own in a unique personality. Even today, with recent appearances in Get a Horse 2013, or even the new ride, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Mickey Mouse television shorts, and the Kingdom Hearts video games, Minnie is a thespian who performs far beyond the range of just ink and paint. Cute, sometimes quirky, and rarely afraid to get in the action. She's just as much an interesting character and role model as she was in 1928, and fully capable of saving the day. Quote from Becky Klein, director of Walt Disney Archives. Minnie first appeared in Steamboat Willie in 1928, right alongside Mickey, and is still his steadfast companion to this day. This beautiful book is all about Minnie, and rightfully so. The first section of the book highlights her animated filmography from Steamboat Willie to Get a Horse in 2013. Complete with dates and formats. I have to say there are appearances by her I certainly never knew about. Section 2 features her milestones, key turning points, and milestones. This section is most interesting in my opinion. Now this is my wife talking, not mine. I haven't read the book. I will have to once I find it. I was looking for it so I could actually add pictures. So I'm going to have to take the pictures off of our blog. Okay, Minnie has a lasting legacy and major influences on popular culture. Ub Iwerks originally drew both Minnie and Mickey, and Walt himself was the original voice of Minnie. I didn't know that. I thought he just did Mickey Mouse. See, I learned something too. Sorry. This chapter captures information on their first dance as well as their first kiss. In chronological order with dates and lots of photos, this is the highlight of the read for me. The origin of the ever stylish mouse ears is contributed to the Mickey Mouse Club, where the girls wore the style with a bow on top, and the later, wait a minute, hang on one second, let me read that. This chapter includes various milestones, including Minnie Moo, Disney Dollars, Toontown, and of course the latest feature, Rock the Dots. I don't know what that is, I guess I'll have to find out. Which kicked off in 2016. You can currently find those fabulous Minnie Mouse dots on all kinds of merchandise everywhere in the parks and online. Section 3 is a gallery of Minnie Mouse inspired art and the artists of Disney consumer products and interactive media. I have chosen just a few to show you. I haven't, but my wife has. I honestly have to say every artist has done a beautiful job of capturing Minnie in her elegant, sometimes quirky style in their works. In the pictures it says Diana Tran, and it shows the artwork, and I'll try to get pictures of it and set it up on my YouTube E-Ticket to Tomorrowland blog. No, podcast. I'm on the blog right now, so it's a podcast, so I'll be putting it on. And that's E-Ticket, that's the @ E-Ticket to Tomorrowland 57. That's how you get to my page. Okay, so another artist that wrote in there, and it says her legacy, Gabriela Zapata. Z-A-P-A-T-A. Zapata? That's it, Zapata. Gabriela Zapata. I've seen this artwork at Disneyland, at actually in downtown Disney. Then there's Jeffrey Thomas, and he draws her very mean as the Queen of Hearts, and as Ursula, and as Maleficent, and who else does she have? Oh, actually, it's Jeffrey Thomas drew these. Cruella de Vil. And I'm not sure who the one is in red. You'll have to figure that one out. And, of course, the evil queen with the heart, apple. Okay, then there's Jeff Shelley, and he's drawn Minnie, looks like Mickey to me, on top of a pirate's chest. It might be Minnie, but I don't see any. No, it's Mickey Mouse. Okay, so we will continue on. And then my wife quotes, Robert Farrell, I have to say, I truly love the pirate Minnie. Okay, so it is Minnie Mouse. The tightrope walking Minnie is a close second. Haunted Mansion? Yes. I have to tell you, Minnie fan or Disney fan, this book is a must for anyone who loves Disney history. From animation to fashion to general popular culture, this is a standout book for sure. You can find this book online by Disney Publishing and bookstores everywhere. Next time in my Book Nook reviews, Disney Parks Maps. I think I'm going to have to do that one because she never did it, and I'm going to show you something here. We're going to take the camera here. Disney Parks Maps has helped me build this. Disneyland in N scale. That's for another vlog, or podcast, whichever you'd like to call it. Okay, so I want to thank you for joining us here at my podcast, and I have a couple more things to say to you, and we'll continue. If you're enjoying this podcast, why not subscribe? This way you'll know when our next podcast is playing. We would love to hear from you. Leave a suggestion. Well, that wraps up this show. We hope our listeners like you will mention us to other listeners who love interesting facts and stories about what we talk about here. Thank you for writing the E-Ticket to Tomorrowland podcast. Please subscribe to my YouTube name, which is the same as our podcast, E-Ticket to Tomorrowland Podcast, minus, that doesn't make sense. Please subscribe to our YouTube podcast, which is E-Ticket to Tomorrowland Podcast, or E-Ticket to Tomorrowland 57, the number. Please keep your hands, arms, legs, feet, eyes, nose, and ears inside the podcast monorail until we come to a full and complete stop. And please lower your head before exiting. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the future.